Okay, good morning. Here we go. What is it? Saturday morning. Nice sunny day. Should be pretty quiet. Last night was about the quietest I've ever seen it in Asakusa. Finally, people are getting serious about this. I've never seen it that quiet here last night. Pretty much every bar was closed. Everything's deserted. It was Friday night. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Good morning, guys. Hello. Okay, it's going to be a carving day. Mostly today, it's going to be a carving day. But before we do that, I have another one of those. This is good news or bad news, I don't know. I have another one of these days to do. I've got to do this job. So another batch of prints came. And actually, you should know what's going on there. If I just show you this tool, you know the job I'm going to be doing. But you also should be able to tell what's inside. Those of you who have been regular viewers. You know who printed this, and thinking about the timing, you should know what it is. No comments. Good morning, Taran-san. It's embossing, yes. John's got June prints. Not June, we're not that far ahead. Not June, unfortunately. I wish it were. It's May prints. The May prints from Kubota-san. This is the third batch. The first batch of these are already in the post. This is May the 8th. I don't know what we've talked about before. We used to do all our subscription billing once a month. Everybody got their bill the first of the month. They paid us, we shipped the prints. So we had to get all the prints ready on the first of the month. We are overwhelmed now. We've both the bookkeeping, the computer system, the invoice billing, Cameron with all the back and forth, the shipping people. Instead of doing everything in 3 days and then have nothing to do for a month, they went the wrong way in a one-way street. This is a one-way street. Who was that masked man? I didn't see that. So we split it in three now. Everything is done in three groups. The subscribers are split into three groups. The people who work on the first of the month, they get their bills, we ship on the first of the month. Then the group, the 10th of the month and the 20th. So it's made it a little bit better for us to catch up. And this is the third group for May. So this is the group of prints that will go for shipping on the 20th of the month. And we're getting pretty close to the deadlines here. This is a lot closer than I want to be working, but things are what they are. Did somebody catch it? Was it a motorbike? I didn't see it. I just saw something move out of the corner of my eye there. And the police here are really serious about that stuff. They must have driven past the koban at the bottom. In front of Donkey, there's a koban there. And I'm a bit surprised that I didn't see some police guy with his bicycle chasing him. Okay, so you know what we're going to be doing. I've got a board here. Hang on. Where is it? One sec. So for the first half an hour here, I'll be doing this job, then switching over to carving. No shading. There is a bit of shading at the bottom. We're a bit deciding here. The era that these prints were created, Koryu size era, the shading technique, the gradation technique hadn't been invented. So if we were trying to do an actual reproduction, then we wouldn't be using gradations. But we're not. We're not doing an absolute reproduction. As you know, we're changing the colors. We're doing all kinds of stuff. So on some of the prints this year, we have indeed used gradations. But we're not going to overdo it because it just doesn't suit the mood from this era. Let's test one here. Bull carving Kubota. There's something else too. I know we talked about this before. I'm not the only carver on this job. I shared the carving with Taran-san, who is here today. So I carved the key block in 2 color blocks, and Taran-san did 2 color blocks. But there's not enough room for everybody's name. We still haven't decided what to do with the next one. Because the 6th one, the one after this, the key block was carved by Kawasaki-san, and all the color blocks were carved by Taran. So we want to do a double a double credit, and I still haven't decided how to do that. Someone says, these came out really nice. Don't sound so surprised. Could I align it further along the border? You mean, Terence, we could make a big long one here, of course. It could be, carving Kawasaki, carving bull, Taran, blah, blah, blah. But, I really don't want to get too much on this stuff. So whatever, we'll see what we can do. Is it the laptop fan again? It is working hard. This is the mic here, so if I come close to the laptop, there's your noise, and the other way, no noise. So maybe I can help it if I put the mic a little bit away. Put the mic up on my shoulder, maybe. You can still hear me, but a bit away from the fan. She's working hard. There's 3 video feeds coming into this thing, 3 video feeds, and it's uploading, streaming. So this little computer is working very, very hard. Now it's catching on something else. Taran-san, I meant to ask you the other day, I sent you an email, or I forwarded you an email from, there were people asking us for a commission. Could we do some of their designs as a woodblock print? And these days here at Mokuhangan, we're just totally, it's impossible. We cannot even think about taking on commissions, taking on new work. We're snowed under. But I passed it on to you guys. Is there any chance maybe Takumi can do this? I don't know. I mean, if you want emails like that, Taran-san, I have lots more. They are regular, frequent emails. There's probably 10 more waiting in my inbox from the past few months, so I don't know what to say. If you guys can handle that sort of thing, or want to handle that sort of thing, I don't know. The requests for commissions, they're all the time. I know. There's 2 kinds that come to us, 2 very common kinds. One is the kind of person, they are an illustrator, they have maybe a section up on the internet somewhere with their illustrations, and some of it perhaps might be related to popular culture. So what they've done is they've Googled around and they've seen stuff, and they've seen our Ukiyo Heroes project. So they've seen what I did together with Jen Henry, pop stuff based on woodblock prints based on pop stuff. So it's very common for us to get emails from people who are doing something similar, saying, "Wow, I've got the next thing. You're done with Jen now. Let's do it with me." And I can't take on something like that. We are just simply, we are working past our capabilities. It's not possible to take on a commission. So. Also, honestly, many of the images that do come, I take a peek at what they're sending. I have a look at their webpage. And many of them really are not suitable to woodblock prints. They would be better served with screen printing or giclée printing or something like this, inkjet printing. So lots of people think, oh my God, great, make a woodblock print out of my design. But it's not always appropriate. Not every kind of picture makes a good woodblock print, certainly in the Japanese style. Things that are too painterly, that are all gradations everywhere, blended and blurred. This doesn't make good woodblock prints. Clean graphics do. So well over half of the submissions, the requests that come in, well over half of them are not even remotely suited to the Japanese technique. They're just grabbing the idea to see what might fly. So for those of you who are new here, bear with me. This job is, it's got to be done this morning. It's going to take me about 15-20 minutes. And after that, we'll get to the actual carving. No, people want to commission us to make prints from their designs. Either they want to work together. They want me to publish their designs is the most common one. They're sending the design in. Dave, please publish this, please make this, please carve this, please print this, please sell it, please give me money. And I'm like, I'm not in any position to do this. Another idea, sometimes it comes from a gallery themselves. And they are saying, we have an artist in our stable. We would like to have his work, her work, whatever, their work made into woodblock prints. Can you do this? How much would it cost per sheet and stuff like this? So they are suggesting a business, thing together. So those are the two most common kinds. What's this? You're asking me any tips on not procrastinating with jobs that have to be done. You're asking the worst procrastinator on the face of this planet? You're asking me that one? I've got so many jobs that just, oh my God, maybe I'll get to it tomorrow and y'all think about it, and maybe I'll get to it tomorrow and y'all think about it, How to avoid procrastination? Honestly, I am absolutely the last person to ask. I mean, maybe not the last person. I do get stuff done sometimes, But no, I'm the ultimate procrastinator. Why am I doing this today? Because there's a deadline. This is the thing, it's like when you were a kid in school. Remember, the paper was due a month from now, so yeah, I'll do it later. And you realize it's due tomorrow. That's when you get it done. That's not productivity, that's procrastination. And that's what I'm doing. I'm working at the deadline every single minute of the day. So I got so many things that I would like to do. So here's the window, here's the view to show. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. We tried lots of variations. We tried lots of this and that. We cut color. Excuse me. Go on. We did cut color blocks for the puppies, and we tried different things. We tried like little brown puppies and stuff like that. We tried different variations back and forth, and we did print them. you perhaps can't see it here, but if you're one of the subscribers, you're going to get your print close up. The puppies are actually printed in a very faint, almost not white, a faint, it's just basically just a paper color. So there's a tiny splotch of gray, and they got rubbed. So the paper became flat in the puppy area, and the paper is natural in the dog area. So there is actually a little touch there. This is paper color. The main animal is not printed. That's paper color. The puppies are not. And then the other thing that we really, struggled, well, not, whatever, the thing we went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth was what to do with the river. It's this strange, bizarre perspective that isn't perspective. If the water was right there next to a dog, you wouldn't see curves like this. It's almost flat from the way you look at it. But in this era, perspective meant you viewed it as though you were looking straight down from above on the curves of the river. So we sort of wanted to make it disappear a bit. There is land, river, and you tell me. This is background, this is sky, what is it? We don't know. So we ended up doing an indeterminate color. I'm very happy with it. It's got a good balance. This is what we are really good at. One of the things we are good at is getting a nice palette on most of our prints. And the series too, every month we are checking, and we're doing that again today. Ishikawa-san and I are doing this afternoon. We're still trying to work out the colors for number 6. Sugi-san has done a test group. Ishikawa-san has done a test group. And she and I now are going to make some decisions this afternoon. But we won't make the decision looking at the print in isolation. We're going to look at that print number 6. We're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row and look at the thing from a distance to see how we're doing as a group. Because the palette is not just for the print, it's for the series, and we have a palette for our workshop. There are colors that just you will never see come out of this building because they don't fit our palette. And we stretch it and play a little bit now and then. But it's all got to match. And people don't see this. They just say, what about print? Oh, that's nice. But there is a huge amount of structure and architecture behind this. And that's what we've got. I've got 40 years now at doing this. So the prints you're seeing have this 40 years of structure. Is that the right word? I don't know. And it morphs and changes over time. There was a big change when we started the Ukiyo Heroes prints, when Jed came along. Of course, his input poured into this on a base that was already there. Sorry, there might be lots of interesting comments here. I'm trying to... Yeah, the dog. What color for the dog? I know, actually, this was a no-brainer. It just didn't make any sense to put a color on that animal. It's the highlight in the center of this. It's not strange for a dog to be white. Not too strange, anyway. The paper itself is beautiful, and it serves as the central core focus. It wasn't so simple for the puppies. To make them all white seemed a bit lazy. And it seems like people would say, come on, finish it off. It's not finished. And that's why we tried. We tried brown puppies. We tried, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they all looked strange. It just wasn't a match, wasn't a blend. It looked like we were trying too hard. Asking about feedback. Did I get feedback on the different prints this year, the blue, orange, and the chocolate, stuff like that? I know we don't really get, hardcore feedback. We get lots of, yeah, that was nice. We get lots of people saying, I enjoyed the print. I don't think I have any specific knowledge of during this year anybody saying, Dave, that chocolate didn't really work very well. I haven't had that experience at all. Most people, I think, are sort of, whatever, they're not going to complain about the stuff to us. It would be really cool if we did have completely honest and open feedback from everybody. But what you then get into is the territory where, for example, we put that orange print out. If we had done a poll among the subscribers, who liked it, who didn't like it, check 1 to 5, blah, 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 we start to get into the situation of having them choose what we're going to do. If we had, for example, if I had shown test prints, chocolate and something else, which one should I do? You're going to get viewpoints both ways. It's not for you guys to decide. It's for us to do this. The 12 prints this year, there's not going to be 12 home runs. There's going to be a balance. Some prints are going to be, wow, that one is so nice. And some are going to be, gee, it doesn't quite do it for me. So all we can do is just press on. It's sold out. There are still tons of people waiting to get in. And the people waiting to get in have seen the prints on the website. So they know what they're up to, and there's still tons of people waiting to get in. So that I guess, tells us we're basically doing okay. But no, we're never going to go with a poll. So which one should I do? It's just... Almost finished, about 15, 20 more copies. Done in a minute here. Thanks for your patience. Press on, yeah, right, it's okay. How many active carvers are there in Japan at the moment? I really don't know. There are not all that many, of course. And also, the word active, I'm not sure. Maybe Taran-san, who is here, he may have an actually more accurate knowledge of that, because he works with an experienced older carver who is a member of the Craftsmen's Association. How many people in Japan are making a living doing the carving for traditional printmaking? It's got to be, maybe that's about it right there, that many, maybe. No, maybe a bit more. There's going to be a couple in Kyoto. There's me, Asuka Sensei, Taran, I guess Kawasaki-san working for us, Chon-san. So that's 5 right there in my own circle. There's a couple more in Tokyo. There's Sekioka-san. He's got the Kayoko-san, Suga-san. So that's 7. There's going to be a couple down. So I shouldn't have said 1 hand. I should have said 2 hands. We're looking at probably 2 hands. So Taran says 8 plus a few more to show. There's got to be, who's in Kyoto, Taran-san? I have no idea what the Kyoto scene is like these days. Is there anybody active down there still? And what about at Adachi? There's got to be 1, or maybe, there can't be 2 in Adachi, maybe 1 in Adachi? I don't know. Dave and Okada prints, just hang in there, hang in there. At the moment it's impossible. But as we build this workshop, assuming the world stays together and we build this workshop bit by bit by bit, Okada prints are going to be on the menu. Assuming the family says yes, but that's another question. But at the moment, I'm sorry. But yeah, in the future, Okada, yes. Up to 11, is he counting? Oh, that reminds me. Speaking about Okada Yoshio, if we go back, what was it, 2 weeks or so, while I was doing the stream, one of the package guys came in and delivered something. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think I said, oh, I know what this is. This is Okada Yoshio. I'll tell you more later. And then it wasn't procrastination. It just got left against the wall because other stuff is going on here. It was sent in from one of the, whatever, it doesn't matter where it came from. It came in from a contact we have who knows we are interested in those prints. And he's got a circle. We're at the bottom of the pile here. He's got a few that may or may not be okay. He hasn't cut the corners yet. We should check these last few because this is where he puts his. Oh, there's a defect. You can see the guy. Kubota-san. He would have been frustrated at what we were doing here. You know the deal is we put different colors on one block. Maybe, for example, the flowers here. If it had just been the top flowers, they could have gone on the same block as the green base. Now they can't because the flowers here were too low. So we couldn't cut the flowers and the ground on the same block. They were too low. The pigments get masked up. The sky here, if it had been just a sky, we could have put it on the same block as the green base, but no, this sky comes down here, again, too close. So no problem. The sky has to be its own block. In this case, the green ground, it doesn't really match with anything. It's too close for the green, too close for the blue, too close to the sky, so it's on its own block, and all this is not used. And when we were carving it, this was either me or Taran, I forget what we did, we wanted to carve a block for the cartouche. Now, as it happens this year, the cartouches are coming out white. So far, anyway, we've decided to leave them all white. But we have carved a space for the cartouche to keep our options open for some future editions. There's the vegetable guy. That's the same truck. So anyway, so we carved a cartouche block, even though we're not using it right now. We're keeping our options open. And this frustrated Kubota because maybe I planned it wrong. Instead of putting it together with the green block here, which would have made a lot of sense, we had a leftover space, and the block for the base of the flowers, we put the cartouche here. This is either my mistake or Taran, whatever we did, I don't even know. You can see there's color here. And it's a bit too close. It's a bit too closer than it should have been. See the pink? There's a touch of pink on there. So it's a bit too close. And I'm sure Kubota-san over there says, look, they're not using this part of the block. Just blow it off. It's just in my way. And it was in the way because he's got to be careful one by one as he's printing not to get pigment on that spot. So this maybe was the first one he tried. Oh, Jesus, these guys have done it again. So he's thrown one away, and from the rest of them, he's been careful. There's no red on any of those. But it's dangerous. He would be frustrated because it's dangerous. You don't put your printer in a dangerous situation where if he's a tiny bit careless or he's watching TV a little bit, he won't notice. And the first thing you realize, you've got to the end of your stack of 80 prints and every one of them has that little pink mark somewhere. That's the vegetable guy without a trolley. So he parks around somewhere. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there, and he delivers here and he delivers there. So he's got a route, but he doesn't park in front of every shop. Why would he do that? Carry his vegetables. Good exercise. Is he going to come back here? Or is he going to go around the block? So maybe, parking actually is a real hassle, of course, for delivery trucks and stuff. The city is quite strict about this, This street is a pretty quiet backwater, so they park to delivery here. But if there's a restaurant out on some of the main streets, it's really tough for the delivery guys to be able to get there. You can't double park. This is not New York. There's no double parking, triple parking here. So he's just got his little routine, puts the truck somewhere that it's safe at that particular moment, and then hustles around and delivers his boxes of vegetables. Is that him going back? Is that the same guy? I don't remember. The Asakusa vegetable mystery. Okay, we're done. We're done. Thanks for your patience. He did. He looked a bit hustle. This is one thing I love about Japan. Absolutely, I love about Japan. The hustle. It's too much sometimes. I know it. I feel it myself too much. But I dig it. The hustle. You have a question about changing the paper size of an order. Changing the paper size of an order. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. Ask away, ask anything here, but I'm not quite sure what you mean. Okay, first stage done. Actually, before we carve, I have got to touch up the blade. I was lazy. It's been a while since I've sharpened it. Speaking about these, sharpening stones, what are they called? What do you call these things? Sharpening, things. What do you call them? I have no idea what you call them. Sharpening plates, okay, good idea. Yesterday, Aoyama-san, he came to me with some samples. Where, the box thing, the tool thing, I probably shouldn't even mention it, but whatever. The tool thing is coming. And one of the things that he was trying to decide yesterday was the box is there. It's a low box with 5-6 tools inside. The lid opens up. We're still getting different box samples made from different companies. It's really, really difficult to find someone who can do a nice job at a price we can afford. Whatever, anyway, long story short. But as part of the box, you open it, and we're trying to decide what goes inside the front cover, inside the cover of the box. So the box lid opens, and then inside the cover, it stands up. Inside the cover, there's not the instruction booklet, the booklet that talks about your knives. Here's what they are, here's how to basically use them, here's how to sharpen, stuff like that. And inside the cover, as you open it up, there's two things. There's the instruction booklet tucked inside it, and there's one of the sharpening plates tucked inside it. And he's trying to get the measurement so that when you close it, the plate doesn't bang the blades and stuff like this. And Aoyama-san is sort of he's the same as me. We want to get this exact. And of course, that means we've got it too tight. And a tiny bit off, and this thing bangs the blade, and it's going to leave a mark over time. So we're trying to decide how many millimeters to make this thing. So if you saw us, you would just be crying. Guys, just make this thing and get it into the market, and who cares? But we're a little bit whatever. Okay, this is not the rough stone. The blade is not broken. We don't need to reshape it. I just need to touch it up. Taran-san, close your eyes, look the other way. Don't cry, okay? Again, this is something I've never ever seen any of the old guys do when they're sharpening, is adjust the pressure. Start hard and then back off, back off, back off, and do it really soft at the end. I'm convinced it gives you a blade with less scratches, better to move on to the next stone, but I've never seen anybody else do that. No, this is nothing. This is a reject block. Don't get confused by this. This is just a dumb piece of wood that I keep on my bench for cutting and chopping. It was the original cat block we started. It turned out to be too soft and I rejected it. So we should make it clear to people, this is not a project underway. This is a rejected, block. Every time I put this down, people get confused about it. So sorry about that. Actually, the back of it is one of the blocks for the diamond cats, which are still sitting here at the side of my bench waiting for the day when they're going to be tested next, sometime next year or the year after, or the year after. You hear these footsteps, there's nothing out there. It's like a ghost walking by or something. So. The stand for the thing, it has legs so that it sits there. The bench is angled so the stone sits basically flat in front of me. What I want is, as I move my hand on this stone, if you can see, if I change the angle here, what I want is, as I move my hand back and forth like this, you can see what's happening, just my natural elbow movement, and that knife stays flat. Otherwise, you're going to get rocking, and this is a perfect way. Angled bench, flat stone, sitting at just the right angle, move my arm back and forth, and you can see what happens here. The knife just moves perfectly. I mean, we should patent this. It's what's it called? Not a lever. It's called a something, whatever, where you move to turn one kind of motion into another kind of motion. So whatever. Okay, finally, let's do some carving. Where's the location? Let's locate this. Where are we here? That's the zone. Let's zoom. Looking good, kind of. All right. The human arms are already patented. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Here's the point where we break our knife, of course, but whatever. Let's try this. Okay. Okay, we have hairs, all smooth, a sweep, so we can just run up this row here. This is freestyle. Let's put the back line in. Carving hair, it's much more fun when it's open. You carve your hair. Where's an example? Here, just you carve your hair, and the knife comes out into the open air. So you can end each one with a nice, an invisible edge. But a place like this, these hairs all end against this line, and you do not want to chip, cut, or pop this line. So this is not frustrating, it's part of the job, but whatever. Away to go. What's a good angle we can do this? Let's try this. And I'll start here and come up that way. The printers too, when they get to this sort of stuff, they're going to be, they're going to do it. They're not going to complain, but they're not going to be totally happy about this. This is going to be, in some ways, a tough one to print. There's only going to be 2 or 3 colors. There probably won't be any gradations, but there'll be all these little fine places where pigment can get caught, and they will all run in different directions. With one of the beauty prints, the woman's hair, they all sort of run in the same direction, and you can brush it out. With the brush, you can keep the block clean. But when all the delicate lines are running in different directions, it's much more difficult to brush them out. Any plans on reprinting Missing City Mono Album 3, Print 5? Oh, there is. You know how to hit sore spots, right? There's people that know how to do this, you know. There is, at the moment we're speaking here, in the freezer upstairs, and it's been there for 4 years? I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. There's a package of that print started by me in the freezer upstairs. About 30 or 40 sheets of it. When we opened the shop in 2014, whatever, we put some of my back issues in the shop. That one sold really well. We were out of stock of it. We didn't have a printer that was ready to do it at the time. Dave started a batch, and this will be 2016 or something like that. I don't remember. I started a small batch of 30 or 40 sheets of that one, and they're partway completed. They're in the freezer upstairs. When I'm done, they're going to bury them with me. I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry I have no answer for stuff like that. You know, there are a million things we want to do, and we just don't have the people to do it. Story of my life. But actually, there's news on that. There's news. Someone's asking, where's this print? I'm saying I don't have time to print it. We don't have a printer. We don't have staff to print it. We need people, blah, blah, blah. We got a break yesterday in the idea that people coming in to join and help work here. We got a break here. we got a break here. You know, we've been doing the photography for the collection. Every Friday, Watanabe-san comes over to take some pictures. Not every Friday, every second Friday she comes over to take some pictures, goes home, does them in Photoshop, gives them to me, and I put them up in the collection page. At the moment, there's a few hundred waiting on my desk. She's done them, and she's waiting, Dave, when are these going to be in the collection? I'm like, I'll get to it soon. Anyway, long story short, the lady, she's really good at this. A pleasant lady. She used to do print parties for us when we used to do print parties. She was doing print parties, then when that all came to an end, we're hunting around what work can these people do. She said, well, I can use Photoshop. So bang, Patreon money we're using, Patreon money scoops in, goes to her. She does the photography, prints go up in the collection. It's all working really, really very well. Anyway, we go back, I forget when this is, a year ago when the shop is closed. I asked her, like, can you do more of this? And she's, no, I have my own graphic clients. I do package design, I do pamphlet design, we do wedding portfolios, blah, blah. And I said, okay, no problem, thank you very much. Good, go for this, go for this. She showed me her portfolio. It was really nice. She has really nice taste on this, does a really, really nice job. But all I could get from her, she had been doing 1 day a week for print parties for fun, and now she's doing 1 day a week of photographing the collection for fun. So be it. They forgot about this. Yesterday, Friday, she was here with Yamada-san, took a bunch of photographs for the flea market. We're doing a thing with the flea market next week, getting more and more up. And I asked her again, I said, just we really want to do more of this, but you said, she says, well, actually, I guess I can mention this publicly with her. She says the graphic clients these days are, I guess they're pretty thin on the ground. So she is going to do more. And right there in the room, right there with Aoyama beside me and Yamada, I said, that's it, full-time job, start Monday. Sit down, let's talk about salary, we'll get a contract ready. You can start Monday, full-time. And she's like, oh, wait. No. Anyway, long story short, she probably doesn't want to do that, although the offer is open. It may happen on Monday, I don't know. But she is going to do more. She really, really wants to do more. So we are going to crank this up. She is going to become the tanto, the person who is responsible for and who runs what we've been calling our flea market. It's going to get rebranded soon, but whatever, we're calling it our flea market. So very much. So stand by. One section of our business is going to be waking up a little bit because this lady who is really good at this, who knows how to do this stuff, she is going to be working much more on this. So I'm very, very, very happy with that. Yeah, you can see them. Forget the light, right? You can see there's the row that we've just done right now. They're not all the same size and shape. It's a bit randomized. Tiger hair doesn't look like one of those beautiful ladies. So this is a bit of a chance to play around for me. Don't have to be so serious. Just carve one, carve another one, a bit short, it's okay. It's not careless work, but they shouldn't all be exactly the same. It shouldn't be mechanical. What's this? Questions here. What's this? Would it be possible to rotate the catalog so different prints can be in production at different times? Well, what we're doing, we have our, quote, catalog. Those are our blocks, the prints we publish, and we watch the quantities going low. And simply now, over half of them are out of stock because we don't have enough printing time to keep them in. So the catalog has become shrunk and shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. I don't have any way. It's not a question of rotation. It's just a question of the input and the output don't match. Don't match. I have no idea what you guys are quoting. Whatever I keep out of this, I'll read it later. So, I guess I get to be a broken record on that stuff. I'm sorry, always talking about that. But just that's the thing I live with every day. I live with this, So I'm sorry if I keep coming back to the same thing too many times. It's just there every day. The other thing that's happening this weekend, actually, this is a big deal. This is a big weekend for us. The software has gone live. Cameron, on Friday afternoon, he shut down the old software we've been using since 2003. He turned it off for what hopefully is the last time. That locked down the customer data. He then zipped up the data, sent it over to me, and I started last night. I'm going to be spending most of the weekend doing this. I started last night importing the old data format into a new database for which the software has been under development for the past couple of months. I started last night. I brought in the first 400 people last night as a test. Got up this morning, had a look at it. Seems okay, seems to be flowing. Journaling is doing well, bookkeeping, blah, blah, blah. So over the next couple of days, today and tomorrow, I will be importing about 5,000 sets of customer data. And when he comes to work on Monday morning, he will be doing so with some slight trepidation and some anticipation. If it all goes well, he starts working with the new software. If it doesn't, we quickly go back to the backups from last week, and I wipe the egg off my face and try and figure out what went wrong. But so far, it's looking good. So that's my job for this weekend. As soon as I finish carving here this morning, it's back to the database. And it's already in testing, because what happens is people who do shopping on the shopping cart, the stuff flows through automatically. And when I woke up this morning, I saw there was one in there from overnight. So that person, he doesn't know it. That person is the first guinea pig. What is that the word to use? That person is the first guinea pig in the new system. We also have a breakthrough coming up on this. It's too soon to completely talk about it, but we have a breakthrough coming up. We're going to involve another printer. So far, over the past year or so, it has just been Yamamoto-kun who's been printing our waves. And he's taken on some obligations, which means he can't do as many for us as he has been doing. So I have had to say, okay, in that case, I need the blocks back. And we are going to be involving a second printer on the Great Wave blocks. And if all goes well, we'll be able to double our output, absolutely double our output. If. And to get there, to make that happen, meant I had to play with the price, not the final printing price, not the final price to the consumers, but the price we pay to the printers. Well, poetry, great. Go for it, guys. Go for it. Go for it. if I need a software engineer, thanks for the offer. I get these kind of letters too all the time, absolutely. So I'm saying this with no hostility or sarcasm. Thank you very much. There are many people who write to me like this, actually, saying, Dave, I'd love to do your IT work for you. Please, like I'd love to help for no money, or I'd like to do this. Please hire me. There's all kinds of letters that come like that. And we're in a bit of an interesting situation on this. Our software here is totally, absolutely customized down to the last inch. We have software that knows the sheets of paper in each style of print and stuff like this. I can't. Whatever, it's totally, absolutely customized. We don't use spreadsheets, we don't use anything else. Every module for every one of our jobs has a piece of software written for it. And when you go to our manager page, there's 50 different modules to select from. For example, last night, the exchange rate looked good last night, so I brought back some euros from our PayPal account, which means logging onto PayPal, telling them 3,000 euros, drop it to my bank account in Japan, and start the transaction. Okay, that's a currency conversion from euros to yen. It's money from one bank account to another. There's a half a dozen different journal entries that need to be done to get this into the bookkeeping. We've got a module that automates this. I just go to PayPal, start it, and the information that comes from PayPal flows into our software system. Our software system sees this, understands this, sees the exchange rate, knows that PayPal is not giving us a good exchange rate, and marks the difference between what we think is the exchange rate and PayPal's dishonest exchange rate, dishonest business model, and it marks it as a loss. So all of this sort of stuff is custom written and custom ordered and custom controlled. The point being, I start the transaction from PayPal, bring down the money, click, and then I'm finished. We don't have to do anything else. At the end of the year, when we're preparing our financial statements, that transaction actually is already in there. The flow from one bank account to another is in there. The calculation of the amount to add to our expenses as an exchange loss is already done. So sort of what we've tried to do is automate every single aspect of our operations here that are in the background, so that those of us who work here can get busy carving and printing and doing stuff like that. So the point being, the system we've built is kind of insane. And for somebody to come here and sit down and say, gee, let me work on this with you, the learning curve, what's in this, what's going on, how is this working, what's this all doing, the learning curve is pretty steep, I think. So. We've gambled by doing this, If I have a stroke while I'm doing this stream today, and that's it, Dave falls over and he can't function in the company anymore, we have an IT problem, because I'm the guy who knows how this works. It's just a ton of fun, of course. It's a ton of fun, It's hard to figure out where I am. There's the tail, base of the tail. 1, 2. Whatever. Are you quoting poetry back and forth with each other? This is cool. I would like to join. I'm sorry. I can't. Hunting of the Snark, of course we know that one. I don't think that's poetry. That's gibberish, but whatever. Okay. You think about the IT work, I am being much more careful recently with thinking about, look, somebody else is going to be seeing this code and maintaining this code. The software I wrote for the company years ago, the stuff that's being replaced right now, actually, it was never written with any idea that it would be used for more than a short time or that anybody else would ever see it. So it was just whatever. It was amateur work hacked together. But the work I'm doing now, the new system that's going to replace that, it's very much being written with the idea that this is going to last longer than me, that at some point somebody else is going to be the person maintaining this. So, of course, it's sort of, for a large extent, it's what you call self-documented. As you just read the procedures going through, you can understand what it's trying to do. We mentioned this before, that there may be people who disagree with this approach, but we're using a lamp stack. PHP is the source code for most of what we're doing here. Even though there are many, many people who look down on it, it works well, it's functional. At the scale we're working on, it's okay, and it's readable. And for the most part, I don't work in, what's the way to describe it? I use procedural mode for this, rather than writing blocks of object-oriented code, because it's so much easier to read and understand. So real programmers would look on me with some bit of scorn. This is amateur work, and that's fine. But my God, it works. It works, it works, it works. Tiger hair, tiger hair. Where to next? Is our time okay? I haven't been paying attention to the time. Where are we? Just after 9 o'clock. Okay, we do have the show and tell today. I've just got the same books, the books we were looking at the other day. I've kept them here on the shelf, and let's just flip through a few more pages. And I told you I would copy the title sheet so that we could do some research. I haven't had time, I'm sorry. Professional programmer, all programming languages are terrible. I don't, whatever, I don't know. I enjoy it. It's very much, building stuff from nothing is very much, Well, you say it's not amateur if it works, but there's hacking which works sometimes, and that's the thing, sometimes. But when you're running a business on a piece of software, it should be a bit more stable. And then, of course, the idea that it should be readable by the next person, the person coming in here after me who's got to maintain this, or even me a year from now when I'm looking back, what did I do? That's a problem, of course. So I'm really, really carefully documenting this through, the angle where these hairs show the most. I don't know. There they are. COVID jabs, Monday again. We'll be trying it again on Monday. Will the resolution come through in the pressing? Yes, of course. Everything, every dot and line that we can carve, if we print carefully, it comes through. This is the idea. Every line that you see left behind here will appear as a small, delicate line in the print. It'll look, something like this. I'm trying to reproduce this, and the finished print will look something like this. There's no way I can see every hair to the level that we're seeing it here, but it doesn't matter. My work will look like fuzzy tiger hair. It's okay. Like you seen the truck just now parked down there. Is the white truck still outside the... No, it's gone now. On the right-hand side of the street, down towards Don Quixote, there's a little window there on the right-hand side. It's the window where people get their pachinko payouts. In any district like this with pachinko parlors all over the place, there's the little payout windows dotted around here and there. You know how it works. It's a silly system. The pachinko parlors are not allowed to make the payouts directly in the building themselves. It's some, I don't even know the derivation, it's anti-gambling rules from times gone by. So people pay their money to go in the pachinko parlor, buy their balls, and then play the game and end up with a stack of balls if they're winning. And you're not legally allowed to get your payout at the counter there. So the pachinko parlor, they used to do it in chocolate bars and stuff. You'd get some stale chocolate bars, which you would take to a little window in the back alley around the corner, and they know what they are, and they would pay out per item. And now these days it's little plastic tokens and stuff, little medallions and plastic tokens and stuff in trays. And last night I went to Donkey last night to buy some more. Oh, yeah. I went to Donkey last night to go and stock up again. I bought 4 packs, 3 packs, whatever you call them. And on the way back from Donkey, I've got my bag with my beer inside. I walk past the pachinko payout parlor, and I just look over. And the way they work this, and this is for the legal reasons or not, I don't know the background here. Maybe somebody knows this. The payout windows here, the guy's got his tokens. He slides them under the window. It's like a little bank teller. And the woman inside has an electronic display. And she sees the tokens and she keys them in or scans them or does whatever to them. And the money, payout money, it displays for the person who's standing outside. This was a guy and a girl. And the guy who's been doing it, but he's a bit of a funny, floppy, fat guy, mask hanging over one ear, whatever. And the reason I did a double take and I stopped is because the window, the bar that flashed and showed the money, it was 6 figures. 6 figures. Now, this is not 6 figures in dollars. This is not $200,000 the guys want. It's 6 figures in Japanese. And it started with a 2 and then went blah, 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 blah. So this guy is getting a payout of over $2,000. He's been in the pachinko parlor. I didn't see what he carried back with him, some little plastic stuff. But I did a double take there. And I wasn't so close to him, so it's okay. I'm on the other side of the street. But I'm like, 6 figures, squint a bit, 2, 6, 5. Wow. Wow. What he was doing was, as the woman was inside, she had held up this sheaf of money. And she was doing the bank teller thing. Plop, 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 behind the glass, so he can see as she counts. And he's standing back with his phone. And he's videoing this or shooting pictures, I can't tell, whatever. He's standing up with his phone. And this is all happening in silence. And the little red window says 2, 5, 6, blah, 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 blah. And she's going chuck, 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 chuck. And then she slides it under. And at that point, I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm keeping walking, whatever. And the couple just, whatever, scoop it in and party time, whatever. Over $2,000 for a single shot at pachinko. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen five figures all the time. You see five figures. People get $100, $500, $600. Well, that's if you stand there for 10 minutes, you will see that happen at any one of the windows. But it's the first time I've seen one like that, six figures starting with a two. And they just shuffled off. They weren't like dancing and happy and let's go get drunk or whatever. They just slipped it into their bag and walked away. And I think too, if I were in that situation, I would do the same thing. I would walk straight to the train station and get out of there and just, and look behind you to see if some Dave here who has seen the numbers thinks, I think I'll follow those people to the nearest back alley, whatever. I don't know. I don't know how dangerous it is. But yeah, it's open to the public. Anybody can see those numbers. And if you had devious plans in mind, you can post one of your guys on the street to watch these things, wait for a high payout, and then follow them, My God. And he videoed it. Maybe he posted it on Instagram, here's tonight's payout. I don't know. Not the smartest thing to do if that's the case, and your local tax office is going to see it. I don't know. Oh, it's time. Soka, 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 soka. Show tell, show tell, show tell, show tell, show tell. It's straight from the pachinko parlor to Bocahanka. Thanks for the thought, but whatever. Okay. Let's look at some of those prints. So let's look at some of those prints again. And I just flashed it. This is the one I was talking about the other day. This is the way they're doing this. And as I said, it must have been a campaign. It was to do with the Olympics or the rugby or whatever. And Guinness here in Japan has found themselves with bajillions of these. They must have warehouses upon warehouses full. So they've been on sale now for quite a while. And the donkey store is 721 yen. And it's this little carrier which takes 3 cans. There's 1, 2, 3 cans, and then they give you one of these. And they're dead stock. Do you see what it says? Anybody recognize what that means? What do the letters WRU mean to you? Think. WRU. It's Wales Rugby Union, and they're making these Welsh Rugby Union, Welsh Rugby Union, and they've got a set of 4. And the 4 it's Wales, it's Scotland, England, and it would be Northern Ireland. I guess is that the 4th one, the 4th member. And it's a set of 4. And the thing is, the England one is all gone. We have tons of Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland. And one of our staff members, Yamanaka, the boy who was here yesterday, he is an England freak. He lived in Birmingham for 3 years, and he likes rugby. And he says, Dave, please, every night go down there and check. I want the one from England. So last night I went through and there's all the stock and I'm sort of picking them up and moving and the guy's sitting watching, what are you doing? And I guess maybe they get it. They know people are looking for one. And it's like, what is it? It's like baseball cards. There's one you need and you keep buying the bubble gum and just that one never comes up, never comes up, never comes up. So I think that's it. There probably aren't any England glasses left in there, but people keep buying these. And for me now, it's a problem. The beer is cheap. It's 721 yen for 3 of these. And there's no way. This is well over, a can of that is well over 300 yen in the convenience store or supermarket. So I'm not buying them for the glasses. I'm buying them for the beer. But we now have a problem. They're stacking up upstairs. This stream sponsored by Guinness. Buy them now at Don Quixote. So I should do that. Do I have to actually make a legal disclaimer about this? I am not receiving any money for these product promotions. Do I have to say that, or is it obvious? I don't know what the law is. I read about that in the stories now and then, that some kind of whatever person got Instagram. They've been taking money in the background without telling their Instagram fans or something, whatever. So it was Orangina, and now we're into the hard stuff. Okay, let's look at a few more pages of this. I haven't even opened it since the last stream. I promised you I would do some research so I know what we're talking about. I have not opened it. I'm sorry. It's okay. Let's just look at a few more pages. Is Rangaksha here today? Because he seems to know what a lot of this stuff is about. Are you here today, sir? Kantar knows too. He knows a lot of this stuff. So let's see. Picture the glasses. I've only got 3 of them. I can't take a picture of the 4. Haven't seen them. Okay, whatever. No problem. Okay, where are we? We got to our tanuki, which I'm certain actually it's dancing under the moon, because there are more. I've confirmed there are more pictures in this book that are swing pictures, where even though the calligraphy is sideways, the picture is meant to be looked at up this way. And I don't know whether that's a mistake in production or whatever. I don't know. Okay, let's move along. Where did we get to the other day? We've passed, let's just look half and half. We passed the monk going through the prostitution district, showing people their heads. What a deal, you know. In church I can get it, but walking through the red light district with a skull on a stick, this is where we are all going. To me, when I see this, I would imagine the girls would say, yeah, that's where we're all going to end up. So like, who cares? Let's party. Let's have a good time. So is he trying to convince them that your way of life is no good? Or is he there saying, whatever? So I don't see this as a problem, you know, but whatever. Okay, let's move along. We saw this one. Where did we get to? The creed. Okay, here's where we picked up. Here's where we left off. We're still in the January group. So the prints we're seeing here, quite a lot of them are related to January. And this is full of New Year symbols. We have a crane seen from the back. We have ume, the plum blossom. We have pine, small pine branches. And I believe this is supposed to represent one of those long-tailed turtles. So we have a generic kind of New Year image with a poem, which there's no way I can read for you. So the book goes through this way, page by page. It's moody. It tells us what time of year we're at. It tells us the season. And there's those 4, but it's sunrise too, Hinode, it's the rising sun. So this is a representation of the first sunrise of the new year. And it's done in that Meiji style, you know. There's lots of what we call kasure bori. Do you see the scratching? The print I'm carving right now, the prints you've seen me carve for the past couple of months, these Koryusai prints, everything is clean and sharp. But this now is totally different. Every line you see here, of course, is carved. And you can see where the guy scratched it. Look, you can see. He's carved a couple of lines here, and then he's gone back with his knife, chuck, 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 chuck. You can see the physical place where he's mucked up the lines. This one too. He carved the line first, then he smucked it up. And this is kasure bori, scratch carving, sometimes referred to as sabi bori, bobori. Sabi means Well, it's the wabi-sabi or it's rusty, broken down, old. You see it again here, all this stuff. It takes a lot more time to carve, but you get your nuance. It looks almost, and if you just came to this without knowing it was a woodblock print, you're going to think this is maybe a brush painting until you look at it closely and you can see gray level 1, gray level 2, gray level 3, and you realize it's printed from different blocks. Okay, this one now. Where are we going with this one? Because this is a 2-pager. I took a peek just a few minutes ago. This is a 1-page, and the next page is the same story. Where are we going here with this one? And if you have a knowledge of Japanese folk tales, for example, you might perhaps be able to get this one. We have shells, and this shell is open, and we see we're underwater. What are we seeing here? We've got it. We've got it. It's the Dragon Palace under the sea. Or actually, you're reading it, of course. I actually saw it. Okay. Which means the next page is going to be, and we've got this. You know where we are. You know where we are. We have, of course, Dangakusha is here. He's got this. You've got this. We have, of course, some kind of image of a dragon. And we have, yes, and it even says so. It says 8,000 sai years old. I am nearly Nanajusai. This is Hasen sai. And this, of course, is, oh my God, the name of the guy. The name of the guy, it's not Momotaro. It's Urashima Taro, opening his box and aging 8,000 years in a moment. Not quite so sure about the dragon, but things are what they are. Has he got his forearms crossed there? I don't know. This one too. Now we're still talking about time, or are we still talking about New Year? I'm still curious about what's going on here. This one actually says, it says, Mezamashi doke. Mezamasu is wake up. This is literally, that's the current word. Mezamashi doke is an alarm clock. And this book is what did we say it was? 1888. 1888. So this object may not actually be all that common in society here at that time. I don't know. And we have a newspaper, and it's also, it now says, Hi no de, sunrise. And this is supposed to be the name of this newspaper. I'm not quite sure. And again, I still think we're talking about the first sunrise of the new year. The clock time is set for, 6:30. It says alarm clock and New Year. This one. What does this remind you of? This reminds me of, it reminds me instantly of a very, very famous Zeshin print of this same era. This book is not done by Zeshin. This is done by Suzuki Mannen. But he's riffing off here a very, very famous image by Zeshin, which again, if I was doing this as a nice presentation, I would have prepared a copy of the Zeshin print. Very, very, very famous design, which is going to appear in the Mokan catalog at some point. I'm not quite sure the connection with New Year here. Crows are not generally considered to be a New Year thing. Okay, this one puzzles me. I'm not quite sure what this is. What we've got here is a fan design split into two, and the people seem to be wearing old-fashioned clothing here. This seems to be a reference to people from the Heian era. But what's happening up top here, you tell me. What's your guess on this? What's going on? The bottom is people. It's guys. It's people dressed as Heian era courtiers. At the bottom and at the top, you tell me what's going on. Let me head back to the index, the table of contents, and see if I can get some clues here for this one. Choga no tomomachi. Choga. We got somebody here whose knowledge of Japanese is better than mine. We have this one. This is the title for this picture. It's mourning something. Choga no tomomachi. The previous one was akegarasu, the crows. I don't know. No idea. Sorry about this, but I haven't a clue. Are we looking at birds? Are we looking at people? I haven't a clue what this is supposed to represent. Anyway, moving along. Landscape. Chinese landscape. Yonman, again, let me look back to the title page here. This should be easy to figure out, I think, perhaps, whatever this is. Shihohai. Kene. Shihohai. Objects that mean stuff now. Let's go. Zoom out a little bit more. Just a second. Oh, these objects, they're all labeled. We can tell what they are. Let me flip back a sec. We should be able to get some of this. We should be able to get some. Hang on one sec. Let me flip back. Oh, Utsue Iwaigi. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. There's clearly a pattern. There's clearly a meaning to them. No idea. It's easier for me to see on the screen here than it is in the real life here. Okay, change of mood. Patterns. Change of mood. Look at this. Patterns. There's definitely mon. Here we've got something related to a tsuru mon, sakura pattern. Pattern. I think we're still playing with New Year's and New Year's moods and January stuff. We've got the same things coming back again and again, these symbolic things. Turtles here, crabs here, again. We're still playing with January symbolism. Look at this, how much is stuffed into one picture? A bat, a deer, chidori, plovers, all done on a yin-yang with a moon in the background. So much stuff is stuffed in here, you know. So much, all going over my head. All going straight over Dave's head here. This looks like our old friend Daikoku, kana? With his basket of treasure. He's got the same hat. He's depicted in the same way that we see Daikoku all the time. There's clearly stories to know here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. These ones we can always get. Cats and dogs, not so much, but rats always seem to be pretty clearly visible. What do we hear now? This is, where are we going here? We have a tengu to show. And we'll end here with this one. I've got to get off and get up to work. We'll end here with this one. But what have we got here in the cage? Any idea? Any idea at all what these are? Not a clue. Could be anything. Could be Tasmanian devils, could be tigers. I haven't a clue what these are. Sorry. So... Okay, enough of this, or whatever. It's just a bunch of pictures in a book. I don't know much about the derivation. It's okay, pleasant to look at. I have got now to get off to my really normal work. I've got a deadline Monday morning. I've got a date with Cameron Monday morning, and I've got to get that thing up and running. So I've got to get to work now. So thanks for hanging around for an hour or so. We've got a little bit of work done today. We got some carving done, got some embossing done. I'll be off. The next stream Monday morning will be carving still. I'll be still doing more of that here, I believe. I'm not sure what else might be going on. It'll also be another one of those. I'm sorry, I will have to take a break during the stream to do more attempting to try and get my vaccination reservation. Just, it's an insane, stupid thing that's happening, but that will also be happening next Monday morning. And I'm going to get some people in the background to help me with that, because no more Mr. Nice Guy. We want to get this thing happening. Okay, anyway, ending with a quiet, quiet thing here. Thanks for hanging out. See you in a couple more days. And Dave here is going to get back to work. Let's put up the outside. It is indeed going to be a quiet day today, thankfully. It's going to be a quiet day. But I see the coffee shop, he's hung his sign up. He's still trying to stay open. I don't know why. All the other restaurants are closed, but the coffee shop there, he is hanging out his sign. Maybe he feels it's his chance. I don't know, because everybody else is closed. He wants to do it. I don't know. It's too smoky for me in there. Absolutely too smoky. Okay, guys. Anyway, as I said, I've got to get to work. Thanks very much. Thanks for hanging out. See you in a couple of days. Bye for now. Thank you.